The Drums of Amara, a story of tradition, betrayal, and the power of a single voice. In the Nigerian village of Umuade, the drums carry stories of generations. Amara Okike dreamed of a future where history and education thrived together. But Chief Ease had a secret. He signed away the village land to wealthy investors, threatening to destroy their ancestral home for minerals. When Amara discovered the truth, she stood alone against the corruption. "A leader who sells his people betrays his ancestors," she declared. The village divided. Many blamed her for the heavy rains and hunger, fearing that challenging tradition had angered the spirits. On the day of the festival, Amara appeared with the sacred drums. Her song wasn't just music, it was a call for unity that no machine could silence. Millions watched the live stream. The world saw their culture, and the government was forced to stop the illegal land takeover. Umuad was saved. It became a cultural center where the next generation learns that their identity is their greatest strength. As the drums echo into the sunset, their story lives on, louder and prouder than ever before. Identity is the rhythm of our lives.
The night after the victory, Umuade was alive. Drums echoed across the hills, and for the first time in years, the people felt united. But the real victory came when Chief Ease approached the crowd. The proud leader who once opposed Amara now looked broken with regret. In a sign of humility rarely seen from a chief, he knelt before Amara, asking for the forgiveness he once thought was beneath him. Amara helped him rise, reminding everyone that what matters now is that Umuad stands together again. The crowd erupted in cheers. But while the village celebrated, danger remained. Chief Balogun watched from Lagos, his face burning with rage. He would make the village disappear another way. Suddenly, the music stopped. "Fire!" a boy shouted. "The sacred forest is on fire!" Deep down, Amara knew this was no accident. The night sky above Umuade glowed red. The sacred forest, the spiritual heart of our people, was burning. Buckets weren't enough. The fire was spreading too fast because it wasn't an accident. This was sabotage. Inside the smoke, Amara found the elder, Pa Kalechi, trapped. She pulled him from the crumbling shrine just in time. But the first drum, our history, our unity, was still inside. I couldn't let our past turn to ash. Before anyone could stop her, Amara dove back into the flames. The roof was collapsing around her. She emerged with the drum tightly in her arms. The fire had taken the trees, but not our spirit. As the smoke cleared, we saw a figure escaping. This was an attack on our identity, but Umuad is resilient. Our history is safe. We are watching and we will rebuild. The morning after the fire, Umuad village looked different. The air was heavy with smoke. At the square, the silence was heavy. Chief Ease spoke what we all feared. This was no accident. Someone wanted our heritage. Then, Pa Kalichi spoke. He found oil traces near the shrine, petroleum accelerant. This was planned. A child found the truth in the ashes, a corporate-grade fire starter, industrial equipment not meant for villagers. They are using the fire to justify taking our land. They claim it is unsafe. They want us gone. But this drum survived, and so will we. The ancestors are not finished. We will document everything and expose them. The fight for Umuad is no longer just about land. It is about our survival. We stand united. This isn't random. The pattern is too precise. See this? A corporate vehicle. So they are watching us and planning. The government has declared our land unstable. They are offering relocation compensation. And you believe them? Survival without land is exile. I analyzed the documents. The report used to justify relocation was filed before the fire. Village pressure increasing. Prepare phase 2. They're coming back. Yes, next time we won't wait for the fire. The sun rose over Umuad with an uneasy glow. A silence hung in the air, thick with the weight of what was coming. Our village Umuadi has stood for generations. But today, the earth we walk upon is no longer promised to us. Tunde and Amara left Umuade together, leaving behind the only life they had ever known to face the men destroying it. From the quiet of the trees to the roar of the city, they traveled to where progress hides behind glass and steel. They approached the massive glass building, a monument to a world that measures value in floor space, not history. Inside, they found Chief Balogan, the architect of their displacement, a man who sees a forest and only counts the timber. They brought the evidence of the land's sacred history, the records of their people. But in this room, the truth was just an inconvenience. Balogan didn't even look up. "Ancestors don't appear on balance sheets," he said. "To them, we are just numbers in the way of a margin." Then came the command. The village must relocate within 30 days. An entire way of life, ordered to vanish by next month. Amara placed her hand on the drum she had carried all the way from Umuade. A link to the ancestors they claimed didn't exist. She looked at Tunde. "And if they still come?" she asked. The silence that followed was heavier than the city's noise. Tunde's response was a vow. "Then the world will no longer be able to pretend it didn't know." Because survival isn't just about staying, it's about making the truth so loud that it can never be forgotten. And the drum beneath her hand began to vibrate, a low, steady warning that the earth itself was waking up. The choice was clear: flee or resist. Umuade chose to stand. The world is finally going to listen. Morning in Umuade arrived in silence. The deadline for our forced relocation was here. The village was divided, but Amara Okiki stood firm. She held the sacred drum, the last symbol of our ancestral unity. Beside her, a camera was prepared. As the government convoy approached, the signal went out. Tunde pressed one button. Live. The world began watching. Thousands turned into millions. This was no longer a secret eviction. It was a global event. Human barriers formed, a line of hearts against engines of erasure. Amara stepped forward and spoke to the world. "This is not empty land," she said. "It is memory." The officers hesitated. The global pressure was mounting. Suddenly, the orders changed. Global visibility forced a retreat. The silence of fear was replaced by the rhythm of victory. "We didn't just save our village. We made our history witnessed. This is only the beginning of what we must protect. As long as this sound exists, we exist. The heartbeat of Umuade remains." The morning after the conflict, Umuade felt different. For the first time, we understood. Our village was no longer invisible to the world. News vans arrived and drones hovered like mechanical birds. Everyone was talking about Umuad, but truth now had opinions. A global film deal was offered. Protection, money, a voice. But I realized, if I leave Umuad to tell the story, who remains to protect it? The threats are not gone. They are adapting in the shadows. We cannot stay silent, and we must adapt faster. I will not leave Umuada. Instead, we will bring the world to us. This is no longer just our story. It is our responsibility. Somewhere far away, the world listens again, not as spectators this time, but as witnesses. Umuad was no longer a hidden place. It had become a global stage. Drones and journalists arrived for stories, but their presence brought a new kind of pressure. Officials arrived, proposing a regulated heritage zone. Amara saw it for what it was: controlled land. The war hadn't ended, it had changed form. Division was now disguised as opportunity. Inside, opinions fractured. Some sought stability, others feared the loss of their autonomy. Tunde warned of satellite mapping. a digital grid replacing their ancestral decision-making. Leaked documents revealed a 4-phase strategy for administrative takeover and redistribution. They were never here to help, Amara realized. She gathered the village at dawn to fight back. The documents went live. Across the world, screens lit up. The truth could no longer be hidden. "This is a warning," Amara whispered. The world was watching before they arrived. The sky above Umuad was no longer silent. Helicopters circled. Drones hovered like restless spirits. News channels across the world displayed the headline, "Umuad Files Expose Global Scandal." But in the village, only stillness. At the center stood the sacred drum, scarred by fire, marked by history, but still intact. Amara stood before it, her face calm. Beside her, Tunde lowered his camera for the last time. It was a witness to change. The village gathered. Everyone understood something was about to end, and something else was about to begin. A convoy appeared but stopped. The world had shifted too fast for control to keep up. A voice came. "All enforcement actions are suspended pending international investigation." No one moved. No one spoke. Then silence. The convoy slowly began to reverse, not defeated, not victorious, just halted. A senior official stepped out alone. "You have created something we cannot ignore," he said. Amara replied softly, "We did not create it, we revealed it." He asked, "And now?" Amara looked at her people. "We decide for ourselves," she said. "No arrest, no order, just withdrawal." Night fell gently. For the first time, there were no engines, no drones, no fear, only wind and breath. Amara placed her hand on the drum. "We were almost erased," she said, "but we remembered ourselves in time." She raised her hand, then struck. Boom! The sound traveled through the earth, through the forest. It was not a protest anymore, but as identity, as existence, as truth that refuses to be edited. Months later, Umuad was protected. Tunde's documentary was released globally. Amara remained at the drum. "Will the drum ever stop speaking?" a child asked. Amara smiled. "No, because the drum never sleeps."